Hey guys, it's me, Rusty, 78609 Central Texas, USA, live from my studios in Central Texas at 9:01 a.m. Central Standard Time, and this is the dark side of the moon because my studios are perfectly lighted. Okay, and that's done intentionally. And anyway, I have full-time RV. I'm in an RV right now. I have full-time RV for 22 years. For those of you who have never seen me before, some of you will wish you never had, probably. But anyway, having said all that happiness, it's a pretty day in Central Texas. The temperature right now is about 68 to 70 and a little overcast. We've had a lot of rain in Texas, as y'all have probably read about somewhere. But anyway, this morning I got up and, of course, did my walking like I always do, and got on the my Google News site, and I noticed a brand new thing. At least for me. Now, it may have been around for 50 years, and I just got into it, just noticed it today. But I have heard of LGBTs, and I did a video about that: lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Okay? I think it's total bullshit. Anyway, so I just happened to notice this morning they've added another letter to it. May have been there for a long time. I just never noticed it before. Now it's LGBTQ. Q. Q. You hear me? Pretty soon they'll have the whole goddamn alphabet. You know? I mean, all these. Never mind. Uh, LGBTQ. Now, the Q can either stand for queer, which they are, very goddamn queer, or it can. Some people suggest the meaning as questioning. In other words, they're questioning whether they are a male or a female or a transsexual or a bisexual or whatever. Well, while they're questioning all this shit, why don't they just shut the fuck up? Amen. But be that as it may, I pointed this out in earlier videos. I'll point it out again. The media makes it appear that there's one on every corner and six in every family. Total crap. According to the latest survey or census, whatever they did, the total of all those alphabetic characters, LGBTQ, all of them combined represent less than 2.5% of the total U.S. population, okay, of 320 million. And if you spread that over 50 states, that means in Burnett County, where I live, there may be 1/2 of one, okay? How about that? So even though the media makes it appear that these people need special rights because there's so damn many of them that we got to build special restrooms for everybody, I say crapola, wake up America. You know, and all this happens under guess whose administration. It started pretty much with Obama 1, and now it's gotten bigger with Obama 2. And if Hillary gets elected, it'll be Obama 3 and maybe Obama 4. And by that time, folks, it'll be the whole goddamn alphabet. It'll be LGBTQTZZMHJK Okay? No, they already got B. Sorry about that. But enough is enough. I remember reading a book about this old guy that lived in the 1800s, and he was born in mid 1800s, and now he lived into the turn of the 1900s, and the car had come about and replaced the horse, and all the train had replaced a lot of things, and I think the phone had moved in a little bit, and of course cars were a big thing. And he said, they asked him, he was 90 years old at the time they interviewed him, probably in the late 40s, and they asked him, his health was starting to fail, and they asked him, they said, do you regret your failing health? And he said, hell no. He said, I'm ready to get the hell out of here. Can I relate to that? I think that happens with every generation, because now this generation that I went to my grandson's graduation the other day, I did a video about that too, and that's a whole nother story. But this is all acceptable to that population. That new group that's just hitting the streets, they don't even notice it. And the security and the cameras and all the crap, don't even notice it. It's just there. It's the way it is. And if I'd have been born into that, I'd have done the same damn thing. It's just the way it is. Things change. And get on, get off, or get the hell out of the way. And it's true. But I'm in the way, I guess, because LGBTQ. Ah! God damn it. What happened? Where did we go? But what they're going to have to deal with is LGBTQ AI, artificial intelligence, because they're going to be dealing with robots big time. And the fact they've already got them for your home. You can buy one at uh, Amazon right now. It's called Alexa. I'm not sure if that's the name of the device. That's the name. That's what you say, and then it responds. It's about this big around. It's about this high. It sits on your table. It's actually a speaker, but you can talk to it. You can ask it the time. Alexa, what time is it? Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Or you can say, Alexa, turn the music on. Here comes the music. Alexa, turn the lights down. If you have features like that in your home. And so that's what they're going to deal with. Only it's going to be a thing standing there. Okay, it'll be or they'll go to school and there won't be a principal. Or I think everything's just going to change so much. I mean, I've seen a lot of changes in my life. When I grew up on a farm in Kennedy, Texas, at first, number one, the first place we lived at when I was about around 4 years old, and I remember it's called the Toad Place because we sharecropped, and we didn't have a phone. And then we moved to another place. Daddy had a couple of good crops, and we bought a place. We bought about I don't know, I think it was around 400 acres, and then he leased another 1,200, so we had 1,600 acres of farmland, and we did good. We were poor dirt farmers, but I mean we didn't know it. We had garden food, fresh food all the time. But then we got a phone. That's right, we were on a party line. Eight people on the line. Our ring was too short. It'd go ring ring, and you'd pick it up, and then everybody else on the party line pick it up and listen to your conversation. Because I know I used to talk to a little girlfriend of mine in town, and I'd hear somebody pick up, and I'd shut up because I was embarrassed to say all those cute little love things I was saying. But anyway, that was my introduction to the phone. As far as TV, we didn't have that until I was about 12, I guess, and it weighed about 70 pounds and had a screen about maybe like this. Okay. And but anyway, that was the technological edge, and then the way you got your picture corrected on your TV, it was all snowy. You could hardly see it sometimes, and somebody'd go outside and turn the antenna, and here it get better. And most of the time there was no programming. You had to sit and watch the test pattern. I think I mentioned this before in a video. I watched that test pattern a long time, and there were programs for me that I watched called Winky Dink and You. That was a biggie. And then there was Dick Tracy. Ooh. He had a thing on his chest that was a X-ray machine. He could X-ray you, and if he gave you the double whammy, you were out. But anyway, that's the way the technology was then. You didn't have cell phones. You didn't have shit. You didn't. And to me, when you grow up in that environment, and then you go to a high school graduation that you got to go through metal detectors to get in, and nobody questions it. Nobody. And if you want to drink a water, you got to buy a bottle for $4.50. That's a goddamn significant change. Now, we might have had some LGBTQs in high school, but I didn't know any of them. I mean, we had some that were a little woo, but you knew who they were, and they knew who they were, but nobody ever messed with anybody, and nobody had special toilets or rights or anything like that. I mean, if you beat the shit out of a queer, you beat the shit out of him, and that was the end of that shit. Because there were times in the cities that you'd go in a restroom, even in the '60s, queers would hang out in there and they'd put their hands on you. Well, sometimes they put their hands on the wrong guy and he just whipped the piss out of them. But now they got hate crimes. All the little special groups have special rights. And if you look at the decline of the United States as far as production, jobs, educational attainment, scores on tests, it all started with these special rights. It did. As we started granting all these special things and catering to every need to everybody, and lowering the standard, allowing people to be like allowing your kids to just run wild. Well, we did. The nation ran wild, and we've become what we are. Just a I can't, you couldn't be specific, but generally there seems to be a trend toward a little weakness. We don't stand up for our rights. Maybe we can't anymore. Maybe they've got us locked down. Maybe Big Brother's got us. Read two books. One is 1984, George Orwell, and the other one is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And those are two great books that'll and they were written a long time ago, 60, 70, 80 years ago, and just kind of predicting things that were happening or could happen in the future. The Aldous Huxley book is more about genetic engineering, where they start to manufacture people and manufacture people to be, work in the trades. They manufacture people to be leaders. They manufacture people to be every different thing. And we can basically do that now through genetic engineering. But anyway, that doesn't have a lot to do with LGBTQs, does it? No, it does not. So, now that I've vented, oh, I just, ow! Of course, all of this is done, all of this is done for political gain. That's it. It makes a new issue. I could go back I remember when they were starting to make abortion a political issue. And it was Roe versus Wade, I want to say back in the early 70s, late 60s, whenever that case came to the Supreme Court. I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. I remember there was a Catholic lady that was a secretary in our office, and she'd been there for years. She was a really good lady. I really liked her. She was a strong Catholic, though. And anyway, she actually went to Washington to protest uh, about abortion. She didn't. She was not. She was against abortion. That's what it was. She was against abortion. And I am too. I think it's a woman's right to choose, and that's the end of that shit. It's up to the family. If if they don't want to have that child, good. But anyway, Supreme Court decided that everybody in the United States didn't know what the hell they were doing, so they would do it for them. That's what happens when you have a liberal Supreme Court and our liberal Supreme Court justices and our liberal administration. And I'm still not real clear on, liberals and all that shit. I don't like bumper stickers and labels and all that shit. But basically, a group of queers would be liberals to me, and a group of people that are normal would be conservatives. Okay, that's my basic definition of that. So anyway, having said all that, and got that off my chest, I got to do a tasting event today for, I don't know, because the product they have me down for, they don't have at the store I'm going to do the tasting event at. So when I get there, I'll call them and they'll say, well, they don't have it, huh? Well, they've never had it. And they'll say, well, do something else. And so I'll go pick something I like to drink and do it and then bring the rest home and drink it. That's the end of that. So anyway, enjoy your day. I'll enjoy mine. And one of the things I notice in the videos that I do is I'm always looking around like there's somebody in here. There ain't nobody in here. This is a 26-foot RV, okay, that I've lived in. I've lived in this RV for 3 years, going on 4. And I have lived in RVs full time for, oh hell, going on 23 years, I guess. Can you imagine that? And before that, I had the last home I had before I ended up or moved into I went from a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home on 10 acres of land with a swimming pool to a little apartment in Victoria, Texas. And from there, later on, I went into the U.S. Peace Corps in 1994. And when I came back from the Peace Corps, that's when I was living in an RV before I went in the Peace Corps because it's cheap and I didn't care. And then I went in the Peace Corps, came back, and never got out of one. I didn't see the sense of buying a home. But be that as it may, I've talked enough, and I know I've bored the crap out of you, but that's the way I am. So anyway, you guys, thumbs up. Adios, amigo. Carpe diem. Bye, bye. Boy, I've got that down again. I lost it for a while. I lost it.